Hello everyone! On behalf of Rainbow Loom, this is Angelynn, formerly known as TutorialsByA here on YouTube. Today I'm so excited to be teaching you all how to create this rope braid bracelet. I love how narrow this design is, and I feel like it just looks so different from some of the other designs that I've been creating here on Rainbow Loom's channel, and I think that this looks really cool stacked up against different bracelets that have different widths. This is an intermediate level design. For the most part, I think it's relatively easy, but we do have one unconventional step during the looming process that I'll show you how to do later. And now without further ado, let's get started with the materials needed. In this video, I'll be using the Rainbow Loom Mega Combo Set. I love all the different colors included within this kit and the colored C-clips here, and I especially love that this kit comes with an original rainbow loom as well as a metal tipped hook. You'll of course need both of these to create today's bracelet as well as the C-clip, and the rubber band counts for this bracelet are 14 for the diamond bands, which are these white bands here, the dark blue bands here, and the white bands here. For the colorful bands throughout the center, these will be laid as our border bands, and you will need 26 of these. Today, I'll be showing you how to create the one loom version of this bracelet, so we'll be creating an extension. For this, I used 12 rubber bands. However, if you have 2 looms, you can create this version, which goes all the way around my wrist, and I think that this design looks really cool as well. You'll need about double the amount of bands that I mentioned earlier to create this 2 loom version. Before we start placing our bands, you'll want to make sure that your loom is oriented correctly with this arrow at the bottom pointing up, and your pins should be in a U-shaped orientation. The first bands we'll lay are our border bands. They'll go from the bottom here around the outside to this center pin here at the top. For this, I'll be alternating colors as I did on my other 2 bracelets that I've made, and I'll be using 4 different colors for this. To start, I'll place the left side first, and I'm just going to alternate between my 4 colors, going diagonally first from this bottom center pin up to the next one on the left, followed by my next color going vertically here, and then my next color, and then we'll continue going on like this, one band at a time. And once you reach the second to last pin here on the left, our next band will go into this top center pin here. So you should have nothing on the top left pin here, and this is what my loom looks like. And now we'll continue to do this on the right side, and this time I'm going to start with a different colored rubber band. So I started with teal here, and this time I'm just going to start with gold. And this will help kind of vary the pattern and the colors here on our bracelet. And I'll still go in the same order, we're just starting with a different color right now. And again, the last band that we place here on the right side is going to go from this top right pin up to the center pin right here. So again, nothing here on this top right pin or this top left pin, and here's what my loom looks like now. So we have our whole border placed now, and then we'll go ahead and add our next set of bands, which for me, I'll be using white. On this bracelet, they're also white, and on this bracelet, they're dark blue. Taking one band at a time, I'll start at the very bottom again, and we're going to place this in a diamond shape going from the bottom center pin around the left, top, and right pins by that bottom pin. So we have this diamond here. The band is going around 4 pins, and for our next one, we'll overlap this next diamond with this pin right here at the top. So going around 1, 2, 3, 4 pins again. Oops, lost that top one. Here we go, and another diamond here with them overlapping at this corner right here, or this pin. So we're going to continue this down our entire loom, going around 1, 2, 3, 4 pins, and again overlapping. So whenever we add our next band on, it'll overlap against the top pin of our previously laid diamond. So here we go, like that. And again, I'm going to continue this down the entire length of my loom. Now adding my last one on. And here's what my entire loom looks like. And again, we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bands for this. So you should have 12 diamonds here on your loom. Now we're almost ready to start the hooking process. First, I'm going to rotate my loom 180 degrees, so that way the arrow at the top here that's red is now pointing down, and my pins are in an upside down U-shaped orientation. To the pin that's here on the very bottom now, we'll add our cap band. And to add this, we'll wrap this around this bottom center pin twice. So I wrapped it around once, twist, and double it over. And there's our cap band. And now it's time to loom. We'll be establishing a pattern for hooking throughout this bracelet, but the first set of bands that we hook will be a little bit different. So to start, I'm going to insert my hook inside of the cap band here, which is the top 2 layers on this bottom center pin. And the next band is this band that's the diamond shape, and I'm gonna hook this up to the next pin above, like this. And now we'll go in and we'll hook this left one here first, and then this right one after. So I'm gonna go back in the cap band, grabbing this gold band that goes to the left, and hooking it to the left here. And now the same thing with the band on the right side. I'm gonna grab this from inside the cap band and hook it to the right. I'm gonna push my bands down to make some room. And now we'll start to establish our pattern. So the first part of the pattern is to go inside of this left pin here and grab this left border band. So I'm gonna go inside the top 3 layers and grab the next one and hook this upwards here. Next, we'll hook the right side border band up to the pin above. And this next step is a little bit of an unconventional hooking step. We're going to grab the top 2 layers here on this left pin. So you can see that I have kind of a V shape of these pink bands on my hook, and we're gonna hook these and drag them over the center pin, like that. So I'm gonna remove this one more time just so I can show you again. So I'm grabbing these 2 pink layers that are up right here, not anything that's below down here, nothing down here. I'm gonna grab everything that's above this white diamond band. So these 2 layers right here and pull it over the center pin. Now again, for the right side, I'll grab these 2 layers here, this V shape, and it's kind of the top layer that we just hooked onto this top pin. And I'm gonna drag these over the center pin like that. Next, we'll hook our diamond band up. So I'm gonna go inside of this center pin, push these layers out of the way so I can grab this diamond layer and hook it up to the pin above. And that is our pattern. We're gonna continue this all the way down our loom, so I'll show you 2 more times how to do this. First step is to hook our border bands on the left and right sides, like that. And next we're gonna pull them over the center pin here. And you wanna make sure that you're always doing the left side first. So I'm gonna grab these 2 on the left here. You can also grab from this way like I showed earlier, and pull them over the center pin. Now for the right side, make sure you're grabbing just these 2 layers here and pull them over the center pin. Our last step is to hook the diamond band up, like that. Now we'll do this one more time here on camera before I fast forward the rest of the loom. So I'm gonna go inside this left pin here, hook the border band up, and the same thing on the right side. Now taking my hook, I'm gonna drag these 2 layers here over the center pin, and then these 2 layers here are also gonna get pulled over the center pin. And make sure you're always doing the left first and then the right. And then we'll do the diamond band that goes up. So I'm going in here and hooking this diamond band upwards like that. We'll continue this pattern throughout our loom. So I'll show you one time quickly how the pattern looks. First the border bands, then pulling the top layer of the left and the right sides over the center pin, and then the diamond shaped up. So I'll go ahead and fast forward the video at this point. Feel free to re-watch the beginning portion if you need more help. After you finish this last set of pins here, the next set, we'll do the same thing. And then I'll hook my diamond band upwards. And then for our last 2 bands, we'll go inside here and hook this gold band to the left. And then I'll hook this mint band up to the right, both of them going up to this top center pin. So at this point, here's what my loom looks like. And I'm gonna go ahead and go in this top pin and grab one of my diamond colored bands. Taking my hook, I'm gonna insert it in through all of the bands here at this top center pin. So it should look like this, and this is the pin that we just hooked all of our last bands onto. So I'm gonna go inside all of these bands here and reach around to grab this one single band here that I'm holding in my left hand. And I'll pull this with my hook through all of the layers that are on this top center pin. So now with this band that's in my left hand, I'm going to add this end back onto my hook. So we now have this little single chain band here that's holding all of the bands on this top center pin. You'll definitely want to make sure that this is holding on to everything, otherwise you might lose your project. So I'm going to scoot this up my hook, and now we can remove this from the loom. If you want to be extra safe, you can use another hook or your fingers to individually pull the bands off of each pin just to make sure that nothing breaks, since this is a pretty high tension design. So here's my bracelet so far, and I love how this color combo turned out. You can give it a couple tugs just to even out all of the rubber bands. And now we're going to go ahead and make our single chain extension, since this probably won't fit my wrist. To do this, I'm going to take one rubber band at a time and create a zigzag on my loom. You'll of course want to make sure that your loom is oriented correctly with this arrow pointing up, and your pin should be in a U shape. And I'll just take one band at a time and create this zigzag here. For my wrist, I use about 12 bands for my extension. However, if you have a larger or smaller wrist, you might want to use more or less rubber bands. After you add your last band on of your single chain, you can rotate your loom 180 degrees to where this arrow here is now pointing down, and our pins are in an upside down U shape. Now to this bottom pin here, I'm going to transfer my bracelet from my hook onto the pin. I'll take my finger and insert it into these two layers that are being held on to my hook. And then I'll transfer them here to this bottom pin of my single chain. Now it's time to loom. I'll go inside these two rubber bands here at the top, and then grab the bottom layer and hook this over to the right side here. Now for the next one, I'll go inside the top two layers, grab the bottom one again, and hook over to the left, and we'll continue this down our loom, grabbing the bottom layer and hooking it to the next pin. And now that I'm finished, I'm going to grab my C-clip, and using my C-clip, I'm going to scoop the two layers that are here on this top pin of my loom. So I'm going to grab the two layers here, give this a little tug to make sure that you've got those two layers on the C-clip, otherwise you'll lose your work, and then you're safe to remove this from your loom. I'll go ahead and give this a tug and make sure that I untwist any twisted bands, just because that's one of my pet peeves when I create a rainbow loom design. And now to connect my two ends together, I'm going to take my C-clip here and attach it to this cap band that's on the other end of my bracelet. Your cap band is that one band that we doubled over at the beginning of the looming process. And now we have our finished rope braid bracelet. Thank you all so much for watching this tutorial on how to create the rope braid bracelet. I am loving how cool this design is and how different it is from some of the other designs that I've been making lately with Rainbow Loom. I and the Rainbow Loom team would love to see your creations on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, so be sure to tag us at this username and put the hashtag Rainbow Loom in your caption. We also host weekly giveaways on Instagram, so be sure to follow us on there. In the description box below, you can also find where to purchase your own Rainbow Loom kit. There are many different kits available. The one that I used today is called the Mega Combo Set, and I have that linked in the description box as well. Again, thanks so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you here again on Rainbow Loom's channel. Bye!